Hello everybody, it's One here in today's video. This video we're going to do another fighting game versus gaming roster I made. Last one I did was Marvel versus Mortal Kombat 1. Well, this one I'm going to do is DC versus Mortal Kombat 2. This is the sequel from the very first game that they've made. Now, I actually kind of feel like they could actually do this game at some point. Yes, I've actually have seen them, discontinue it and not, and just ignore it and stuff. Yes, the very first game was kind of not everyone's favorite, and quite frankly, I didn't really care for it here. I mean, I played it because I just to try it out. But like, now that I kind of look at that game, was kind of trash too. But I understand, the whole formula about it. There was no gore, no blood, which when it comes to, Mortal Kombat games, whether it's just Mortal Kombat, you understand the blood and gore there, what that represents. But when it comes to a versus one or crossover like verse game, such as like DC or Marvel, no, obviously they're not going to really show that and stuff. But like, for instance, you could look at Injustice 2. You notice how Injustice 2, there's none in there either, and that game was successful, and it's still a playable game today. I mean, yeah, Injustice 2 was actually pretty cool, and I can see, the Marvel versus Mortal Kombat, and then DC versus Mortal Kombat and stuff. I can see them kind of looking into, Injustice 2 and how that was done. I can see them doing a similar feel to that and going based off of it. I mean, but with the new engine going into these consoles, with the new engine the new looks going into these games and stuff for your consoles and stuff, I have a feeling if they ever do a DC versus Mortal Kombat 2, I think it'll look pretty good and maybe even better. But who knows? And we'll just have to wait and see whenever they decide to do a game like this. So this is my DC versus Mortal Kombat 2 roster. I'm going to read off my roster characters I have and explain a little bit about some of them and go from there. So here we go. Okay, we've got obviously your Trinity ones: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Obviously those three are definitely going to be in there. We got Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Shazam, Cyborg, Black Canary, Hawkgirl. And the reason I used Hawkgirl is because I was going to use Hawkman, but I was kind of doing some looking around and stuff. I noticed Hawkgirl has more a popularity base than Hawkman. Especially in the animated series and stuff, she has a lot of popularity off of there too. So it makes sense. It kind of made sense for me to throw her in here. So Hawkgirl, Supergirl, Catwoman, Dr. Fate, John Constantine, Zatanna, Starfire, Nightwing, Batgirl, Martian Manhunter, Plastic Man. Now I got some villains that are in here too. We've got Darkseid, Joker, Cheetah, Black Manta, Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, Brainiac, and Harley Quinn. If y'all know, in the very first game, Kotal Kahn did a fusion deal with Darkseid. And I threw Brainiac in here, and I kind of thought, well, maybe Darkseid, maybe Shao Kahn can do something with Brainiac. I think it'd be kind of interesting fuse. It'd be a total different thing, but we'll see how that would turn out. Okay, now I'm going to go into reading my Mortal Kombat characters and we'll go from there. Okay, we've got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Ermac, Smoke, Noob Saibot, Tremor, and Baraka. Now, I didn't have Tremor in, if you notice, I didn't have Tremor in Mortal Kombat versus Marvel. That's just because I was trying to kind of do the rosters different, I guess. Trying to Gotta get some things different. Yeah, Baraka, Cabal, Kano, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Raiden, Johnny Cage, Jack Striker, Sonya Blade, Katana, Melina, Jade, Sindel. We've got Tanya, Scarlet, Serena. I have a feeling that I think Serena would be an interesting character for this game too. And so, because I had her in the Marvel one too. Just because I have a feeling they're going to bring her back at some point for Mortal Kombat games. Even though she was a character in Sub-Zero's mythology game. Excuse me. Sub-Zero's mythology. Okay. I think she was in another one too. I don't remember what one that she would use as a fighting character too, but anyways, I have a feeling they're gonna bring her back at some point, like make her a fighting character and stuff. They kind of did it with Scarlet because I know she hasn't been a. They've kind of exclude her from games for a little bit, and then they brought her back. So I wonder if they can do a similar thing to that. Okay, we got Kenshi, Nightwolf, Devora, Shao Kahn, and Goro. Okay, those are the characters for that. So there's basically 30 Mortal Kombat characters and 30 DC comic characters in this. So I do have DC one. I do have some Mortal Kombat DC DLC ones. Same with DC comic DLC. I have added at least 9 DLC characters, 2 of each, and I feel like they can do this. And the reason I say that is because I think it'd be really interesting. So we've got Kentaro, Shang Tsung, sorry. Quan Chi, Sector, Cyrax, Havoc, Riku, Kung Jin, Takeda. I feel like Takeda will be a really good one here too, because I had him in the Marvel one too. I feel like his character would be pretty interesting, again, for on here, because I know a lot of people seem to like Takeda. And I can see why a lot of people like it. He's a very cool character, and I guess he's grown to be a very big fan favorite for a lot of people, so that's pretty cool for him, I guess. And then for DLC, for the 2 characters I chose for DLC on them, is Kotal Khan and Natara. I feel like Natara would be an interesting character for on here, especially when you got flying characters. Okay, for DC Comic, I have Robin, and the Robin I have on here is Tim Drake's Robin. Blue Beetle, Firestorm, Beast Boy, Bane, Deadshot, Gorilla Grodd, Circe, which is a villain of Wonder Woman's, Black Adam, and Black Adam. Yes, okay. So, and then Black Adam. I feel like Black Adam would be interesting on here too. And then for DLCs, extra characters I threw Raven on here from Teen Titans. I feel like Raven would be interesting. The last character I chose is Doomsday. If they don't use Brainiac for Shao Kahn's fusion type deal, I feel like Doomsday would be an interesting one, because, and then just unlock them through DLC, because I feel like Doomsday would be, oh my gosh, that'd be a killer type one. And then I chose a last character for DLC to be on here, and that is the Autumn, which is Ray Palmer's Autumn character. I feel like having a shrinking superhero character would be interesting on here as well. Trying to figure out how to stop a thing like that. And that is a total of 83 characters in this roster. Now I'm sure they could probably add another one, probably from Mortal Kombat of somebody. That's pretty much what I have on here for my list and stuff. I think a lot of these characters would actually be pretty cool to be on if they chose, not saying that this is the actual roster to be, but that'd be kind of cool. And plus, I think fighting games I think they really should go further in, especially Mortal Kombat games, instead of just doing 30, 35 characters, and then 40. Like, extend the roster. Like, add more, and don't be lazy about it. Like, I know a lot of fighting games and stuff have been like lazy and lacking, like, character wise and stuff, not putting those on there. Now, I would probably understand if it's because of, like, you know, rights and things like that, when they have issues like that, and it's kind of hard to get those, which is understandable, and that's fine. But like, when you have the opportunity, throw them on there, you know. But yeah, I think those would be kind of cool characters. And see, here's the thing though, when it comes to maybe an extra DLC character for Mortal Kombat to go with the autumn, I kind of thought of either Cassie Cage or Jackie Briggs to go in there. Maybe they can throw another character like that in there, and then you have your 84 roster character like you did with the Marvel one. Because the Marvel one, I forgot to mention the roster of that. There's like 84 characters on that, on the Marvel vs. Mortal Kombat one. And then had a comment asked, you know, like how Marvel versus DC how Marvel versus Mortal Kombat would work, being that, you know, Disney is more of a friendly feel with Marvel characters, especially fighting game. Well, I think the biggest question with that one, I have a feeling if we get a Marvel vs. Mortal Kombat game, it could look like kind of like the Marvel vs. DC, how clean they were with that, or maybe I can see them kind of go into a Soul Calibur route just a little bit. That's about the closest I can think of that they can do, and they could probably do, you know, some similar Injustice ideas with that game too, with that too, because Injustice was an interesting taste, and it wasn't gory and bloody either. It was just the game was right, and it felt good, and it's still, like I said, it's still a popular game. It's still a game played today for a lot of people. So, like, that's what my take is on that, guys. Post the comment section below and tell me what you guys think, and a DC versus Mortal Kombat 2 sequel, what your ideas would be on here, what you think they would do, and what are your thoughts, and what do you think they should do this game? What do you think they should not do this game? We'll go with that. Post the comment section below, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. As always, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.